Back on the SportsMax Zone, Darren Bravo says spending time at the crease was his main aim following his century for the touring West Indians against New Zealand A in a three-day practice match, which ended in a draw at the John Davis Oval in Queenstown at the weekend. Scores in the match: New Zealand A 303 for 3 declared, 308 for 3 declared, and 124 for 1. The West Indians 366 all out. Here's Ricardo Chambers with a roundup of the action.
Fall early in the West Indians' reply on day one. The Caribbean men were hoping for stability from their senior players on day two, and they got it. 31-year-old Darren Bravo led the way with 135 from 214 balls. He spent 4 hours and 39 minutes at the crease and struck 13 fours and 5 sixes. The Trinidadian was also involved in the innings' two most fruitful partnerships, 112 with Craig Brathwaite, who fell 3 short of a half-century, and 122 with Shamar Brooks, who contributed 80, having faced 152 deliveries in his 3.5-hour stay at the crease. Jermaine Blackwood, who contributed 8, and wicketkeeper Shane Dowrich 2, were among the key players who failed to spend quality time in the middle, as the West Indians were eventually bowled out for 366 on the third and final day. It gave New Zealand a second chance at bat, and again they comfortably handled the Windies bowling. They reached 124 for 1 when the game was called off, with Shannon Gabriel taking the lone wicket to fall. Speaking after the game, Bravo said it was important to get good preparation going into the 2-match test series, which starts December 2.
Most importantly for me was spending as much time as possible out in the middle. I know fully well that if I batted for, let's say, 4.5 hours, I'm definitely going to get a good score. So it wasn't really all about the runs. The runs not really going to do too much justice per se, but I think spending time out in the middle and understanding the conditions and stuff like that, I think is going to work in my favor as a batter. So that was basically my main goal. Even in the nets, I try my best not to get out, even though we get the bat for like 20 minutes or so in the fast bowlers net. So yeah, it was a matter of me spending as much time out in the middle as possible. That was my main goal, and just basically challenge myself as much as possible if I do get through that period, because sometimes you tend to get lazy as a batter, but I challenge myself throughout. The coach asked for us to bat as long as possible, and I sort of try my best to do that, and I work out in that particular innings.
The test squad will have one more warm-up game, another 3-day fixture against New Zealand A, starting on Wednesday, Caribbean time.
Okay, so the chance of the West Indies producing big scores in New Zealand will heavily depend, we think, on Bravo's form. The left-hander averages 65.50 in his 2 tests in that country. And there is even more good news for the West Indies if these stats are anything to go by. Bravo has a significantly better record away from home. In his 53 innings in the Caribbean, he averages just about 26.78, having scored 1,339 runs with 1 century and 9 half-centuries. Now, away from home, you'll see there he has scored over 2,000 runs at an average of 50.40 with 7 centuries and 8 half-centuries. So of his 8 test hundreds, 7 of them have come from his away assignments. His overall record against New Zealand is also solid, averaging 49.67 with his highest test score of 218 coming against them. Well, Tino Best has played a lot of cricket with Darren Bravo. He's also been to New Zealand. Why, Tino, let me ask you this, would a player, let's say a batsman in particular, flourish in away conditions and just seems to struggle in home conditions? It's almost a paradox, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's a paradox. But having the opportunity to play Darren for maybe 2 or 3 years, I was in New Zealand in 2013, 2014 when he scored that double 100, and it was a splendid innings. It was the first test in Dunedin, and he batted beautifully. He batted time as well. And one of the better innings that I have seen him play as well. So the talent is there, but obviously, I mean, away from home where we struggle, he has really done well personally and stuff. So I would really like him to continue that good form against New Zealand in the coming weeks, and hope that he can get some hundreds on his belt. What that does as well is put a lot of pressure on Shea Hope. And I know that creates a good energy because Shea got to come back in for a Saturday. and really fight for his play. But look, Darren Bravo has always been a very good player. We know that. The only thing is maybe his attitude and his discipline and stuff. And every player goes through it. But I think he's matured. And, I want to give him all the credit. And I hope I give him the benefit of the doubt to add that good energy in the team and give Jason Holder the good support that he needs. And just back for the Caribbean team. Yeah. And I wish him all the best.
Yeah, Friday when we were looking at the opening day's play, Tino, you correctly suggested that it was the opening fixture for them on a tour that is so different from what they would have been accustomed to. So you didn't want to read too much into what happened in this tour opener. But having now seen the 3 days, do you want to read anything at all from what we've seen?
The bowlers still need some overs in the legs. New Zealand, A was 124 for 1. The pitch looked flat, to be honest, and I don't think that the fast bowlers are going to go as hard as they will want to go in a test match. In those games, from my experience, when I train with Darren Powell or Jermaine Lawson or Ryan King or Fidel or Corey Collins or Pedro Collins, we fighting for those final 4 spots. But you don't want to push yourself so much that you injure yourself. You want to do just enough. You won't pull back the reins. I'm more like wait and say, you know what, I can get some overs under my belt. I'm not going to try to bowl as quickly as I can to get wickets, but I just want to go overs in my legs. It's all about getting overs in your legs. And once you get overs in your legs, then that's a different ball game. You don't want to go into a test match only bowling 12 overs. You want to go in a test match or a test series having at least 2 practice games with at least 40, 50 overs in your legs. So I think the boys are going to be good coming out of quarantine as bowlers. You just got to give them a little bit of time to land. So I'm going to continue and say I'm not going to push it too hard and pressure them in terms of a practice game. I just hope that they get enough repetitions going into this test series that they know they can hit the ground running and really hit these straps and bowl quickly and get some people out.
Yeah. Mariah, I saw you had a write-up in the SportsMax.tv.
You read it?
A lot of it I read, yes. And you were very complimentary of several elements of the batting, not so much the bowling. Your assessment of what happened over the weekend in New Zealand?
No, well, I felt like, the batting clicked and, of course, the bowling didn't show up. We had so many of our bowlers suffering to even pick up some wickets. I think it's 4 of our bowlers got no wickets whatsoever. And then the rest of them that actually picked up wickets, it was like 1 wicket per bowler. And I feel like that's not good enough because, yes, the batting clicked in this instance, but why can't we bowl out the other team for less runs, make it, less difficult on our batters? Lance, because I feel like we can't be having one thing clicking and the next thing failing. That just can't work.
Yeah. Tino, a quick comment here on Shamar Brooks.
What happened to Tino? Tino, are you all right?
No, man. I just. How much overs do you have a bowl, Mariah? How many overs you got in? Bowl, you have a bowl.
That's fine, Tino. But I mean, our bowlers are supposed to come through.
I understand that. You see, that's the difference between being an analyst and being an actual player. You understand? Now, a fast bowler, from giving you the perspective from playing, I've been in the dressing room, I understand how fast bowling works. You don't want to go too hard. Okay, you're playing a 3-day game. It's not even a first-class game, Mariah. It's a practice game. You understand? You will more want your batsmen to click and get runs. Your bowlers, you don't want it to burn themselves out. So even though a guy may get 1 for 60 or 1 for 40 somebody or whatever, is about repetitions. So don't be too hard on the bowlers about not clicking and don't read too much into it. It's a 3-day game.
No, but I did say that from inception. I did say we're not going to pressure them because it's a practice match, but I would like to see good signs. Darren Bravo said it himself. This would set the tone.
Cricket is a batsman's sport. Always remember that. But also, it only takes 1 ball to get a batsman out.
Correct.
So my thing is this. You're not going to push yourself in a 3-day practice game, Mariah. You're going to
meaning the bowlers.
All your energy. Yes. You want your batsmen to score runs. It's a batting sport. You want your batting to score runs. You want your batsmen to get hundreds, whatever. Your bowlers, you don't want it to go too hard to get injuries. So don't be too hard about guys not getting wickets and stuff. When the test match starts, then you can be as harsh as you want because that is game time. That is the time. That's the business time.
All right.
So don't be too hard. It's a 3-day game.
All right, fast bowler. I'll take your word on that. But I have to pick you up on something you said, though. You spoke about, Darren Bravo performing, and of course, Shea Hope having to feel a bit pressured because obviously, that spot. But what about John Campbell and what's happening? An average of 25.5, a score of 4. I looked at his stats from, when he played England.
Mariah would not start him. I honestly believe that the next practice game, I'm not playing him. I'm playing Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley has to open the batting. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this next 3-day game. Because if Phil Simmons and the coaching staff don't start Shane Mosley,
right,
it's sending the wrong message to John Campbell that he can just fail and still get an opportunity to play. It's not right. I think that Shane Mosley should get the opportunity. And look, when you saw Shane Mosley bat, he batted about 40 balls for about 12 runs. So you can see that he played himself already, batting as an opener at 6 or 7. So you know that he has the ability and he has the mindset and the application to hang in there as an opener. And he's going to bat balls. That's what you want. You want guys to score runs, yes. But you want guys to have a fair opportunity. And I think the next practice game, where it starts on Wednesday, that Shane Mosley should start and Campbell should sit down. What do you think?
I'm not even picking Campbell.
That's true. I wasn't going to let him go New Zealand, man. That's the honest.
All right. That's our New Zealand segment on the West Indies team as they get ready for important matches, T20s and Test cricket coming up in New Zealand. And Darren Bravo getting among the runs over the weekend. He shares a birthday, Darren Bravo, with great Bob Marley. So we need DM Bravo to give us some glimpse of greatness on this tour. Back with more on The Zone after this.